Hi guys, welcome back to the new Age Yogi. So, I'm very surprised and shocked as to how much you remember about my videos and like the little things that I say in my videos, because I just remember mentioning it once about the fact that I had done the Hanuman Chalisa 108 times, and so many of you picked up on that. I've got personal messages saying that you should make a video about your experience, and I think some of you even commented regarding that. So how am I? Who am I to deny you of anything? Well, let's talk about that. So first things first, I was never a very big believer in God. I remember being an atheist at one point. I remember actually not caring about God. But one of the most beautiful things that I have come across is to treat bhakti or devotion like you would treat a math problem. Now, what do I mean by this? Whenever we are solving a math problem, what do we say? We say that let's assume that x is equal to 100, right? So what happens is that we say that there is an assumption. Even in something that is as technical as math, we pick up an assumption first. So the same way, when we are approaching bhakti, we have to start assuming that there is a God. After that, what happens is that we solve the equation and then we come to an answer or a conclusion that whether x is equal to 100 or x not equal to 100, right? So the same way, when we go through our life assuming that there is God and there is a Lord that is helping me and that is giving me what is right and wrong, at the end of the day, we will come to the conclusion that hence proved God exists or God does not exist. So I just want to say that I was never ever a very big believer. I was not like this person that was into bhakti since I was a child. I was this person that has also been an atheist at one point of time because of certain reasons. But when you come into life and when you go through life, there are some things that you want to discover yourself. And so I went into the Hanuman Chalisa because at that point I was this person that was not having any answers. I was demanding answers and I was in a lot of pain and depression, and I felt like I don't know what to do. I didn't have a purpose in life. I didn't have any goal. And a lot of people do the Hanuman Chalisa because they want something. I completely did it because I wanted to surrender in some way and just tell the Lord that, Lord, whatever you do to me, whatever you say is what I will agree to. Your wish is my command. One morning at 6 a.m. I sat to do the Hanuman Chalisa. The previous night, I called my father. I was like, Dad, this is what I'm going to do. My dad said that, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. Firstly, you're supposed to, pray to Lord Ganesh that nothing, to avoid any obstacles that are going to come through the process. You're supposed to light a lamp. And first, you're going to ask for forgiveness for anything, absolutely anything that may go wrong from your side. Keep your intentions absolutely clear and say that if I have any mistake in pronunciation, if I have any mistake in the vidhi with which I am performing this puja, please forgive me, okay? That is how I started. So I did it in 3 parts. After the 50th Hanuman Chalisa, I took a break, and then I took a break after the 75th Hanuman Chalisa. When I was doing the initial 50 Hanuman Chalisas, to be very honest, I was regretting my decision. But, I actually did not continue because of anything else, but because I wanted a sense of achievement. Because if I failed at this, I would not be able to gain that confidence that I wanted to gain. So I kept doing it. Of course, I know I did it for all the wrong reasons, but that is the thing with bhakti. Even if you do it for all the wrong reasons, the results are always correct. So after the 50th Hanuman Chalisa, I guess, I took a break. I was like, okay, because at that point, you realize that your legs are jammed, your throat is sore, Like, I have never had such a sore throat in my life. I was tired, my body was aching, so I was like, okay, I need to get up. I won't be able to continue like this. I went and took a walk, I think. Oh, also I was doing this absolutely empty stomach, but at no point did I feel hungry. I don't know why this happened, but I never felt hungry. So I sat there, I did the whole thing. I did the next 25, and somewhere the next 25 were much easier than the last 25 that I was doing. The first 25 were okay because you have that josh that, okay, well, I have to finish this, I've just started this, blah blah. So anyway, the next 25 were relatively easier because I had mentally trained myself that I'm going to finish this, and without finishing this, I will not give up. So after that, I sat down, and probably my experiences started with the last 25. Remember I told you that I had a sore throat. Remember that I told you that my body was aching. But there was some energy, there was some power that was holding me so badly. I was shouting at the top of my lungs, guys. Will you believe it? Like someone who's done 75 Hanuman Chalisas, they're tired as hell. And they're shouting at the top of their lungs. They have all the energy in the world. They are crying, they're laughing. I was crying and laughing at the same time. I don't know what got into me. That was the first time I ever felt a connection. That was the time where I felt like, okay, there is something where I have surrendered, and now whatever happens will happen for the best in my life. There is no other way that things will take place. Whatever happens will only happen with the permission of the Almighty. And at that time, I don't know, I was filled with love, I was filled with energy, I was filled with all sorts of good things, and I cannot even explain to you like how much energy I had at the time. I do not know, like words have their own limitations, and that is the reason I cannot recall like how those 25 Hanuman Chalisas were, because I was so active. I was in a very different emotional state, and even if I want today, I won't be able to get that back. It was the most beautiful experience of my life. It was one of those things that may not happen the next time for me, because on the 19th of April 2019, I think it was the Hanuman Jayanti on the day, but it was the Hanuman Jayanti when I had actually done the Hanuman Chalisa again for 108 times. Of course, it was a completely different experience. It wasn't like the first one, but the reason why I did the Hanuman Chalisa again for 108 times was only because I wanted to thank the Almighty for the wonderful 1 year that I had in my life. And I knew that at the end of the day, it was only because of that grace that my life was where it was. And somewhere I had also found my hence proved. So if you are going in for the Hanuman Chalisa and you want to do it 108 times, my only advice to you would be that stick through it. And I personally would say that do not do it for any material gains, because at the end of the day, sometimes we want something and that gives us a little bit of happiness at one point, but at the end of the day, that is what becomes the reason for most of our miseries. So I would just say that give God your life and let Him decide what is best for you, because God knows what is good for you and what is best for you better than you do. So that's all for the video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching and hope you stay subscribed.